global happenings today. We communicate, we analyze global news. Stay tuned.
Hello beautiful people, welcome back to our channel. Some few hours ago the news went very viral that the federal government is looking towards obeying the court order instructing CBN, instructing the federal government and Senate Bank, Access Bank from disbursing the Rivers allocation for them. Of course, Fubara, the governor of Rivers State, did not take it for levity. He moved in very swiftly to look at that court order that was filed by Martin Amohele, where he insisted that allocation should not be disbursed to Rivers State, on the premise that Fubara did not submit the 2024 budget to their faction, and the only condition which they should allow that to happen is when Fubara represent that budget to their faction, and they will look into it. Only then should they not allow him to get that allocation. But as we speak, there seems to be good news in the radar. Let's quickly dive into the news. Of course, my colleague is in the house. Now, according to the news, the Court of Appeal Abuja Division reserved judgment on Friday in 5 separate appeals arising from the judgment of a federal high court in Abuja regarding the political crisis in Rivers State. One of these appeals challenges the high court judgment that stopped the Central Bank of Nigeria, CBN, from releasing federal allocation to the state. On October 30th, Justice Joyce Abdul Malik of the Federal High Court had ordered CBN to stop releasing monthly financial allocations to the Rivers State government. The court held that Governor Siminalayi Fubara's receipt and disbursement of monthly allocations since January, based on a budget passed by a 4-member Rivers State House of Assembly, was unconstitutional. The judge restrained the CBN Accountant General of the Federation, Zenith Bank, and Access Bank from allowing Fubara to access funds from the Consolidated Revenue and Federation account. She also issued an injunction restraining Fubara and the State Accountant General from authorizing withdrawals from the State Bank account until a budget is passed by an appropriate House of Assembly. While the Court of Appeal is expected to deliver its judgment on a date to be communicated to the parties involved in the appeals, meanwhile, the federal government maintains that Rivers State will continue to receive its monthly allocations pending the outcome of the appeal processes. My colleague is in the house, and this is very good news. In fact, this is exactly what we have been expecting. Hopefully, that nothing changes in the interim. What's your take? I believe a lot of behind the scene arrangement is going on here. What's your take on all of this?
In our previous post, I had already said that if there's an appeal for a particular case, automatically what if the execution of such a court order should be stayed, that's how it should be. But unfortunately, it seems as though the Bauer guy who came out to speak was doing it just to send some fears down the range of Riverians, But however, it's good news that this is happening, and I believe that right now there will be a lot of consultation that will be going on, especially among the judicial officers, apart from the judicial officers, even with those who are involved in this case, because this has to do with the people of Rivers State. This has to do with people who have given their best to ensure that they work, for 30 days. If you stop their payment, then you are triggering what you will not be able to stand. Don't forget that greater percentage of oil revenue comes from Rivers State, and imagine you stopping their revenue as at a time like this, when we are about diving into, the yellow tide period where everybody should be enjoying, it's going to cause a lot of havoc. So I think it's going to be a situation whereby possibly Amole will be called upon, and the decision will be reached in that respect. But I feel also that harsh decision by Joyce Abdul Malik was quite uncalled for, in the sense that these guys we are talking about have a lot of pending cases in court,
sorry to interrupt. Even at that, I still believe that she probably didn't go through the precedents and antecedents of all of this.
No, she was informed by the lawyers of River State lawyers that we have pending cases. And if you have pending cases that revolves around the legitimacy of these lawmakers, it means everything should be put on hold until their legitimacy is decided. If their legitimacy is not decided, why do you want to force the governor to go and present budget before illegal lawmakers? You know, they are illegal. They are committees of friends because they have cross-carpeted, and the provision of the constitution is that if you move from your party that with which they elected you into any position, you lose it. Yeah, you forfeit your seat. So that is still in the court of law, yet both at the state level and at the federal level. So I think that decision she took was out of emotions. I would say that was out of emotion because already we have pending issues. Let those issues be resolved. Then, Amowale, you can come up with this case and said re-representation is mandatory. Why? Because we've gone as far as the Supreme Court, and the Supreme Court says that I am not a legitimate lawmaker, which means that you've got to come back and present the budget before us.
One more question. Just some few weeks ago, INEC said they're looking at by-elections come December, sometime in mid-December. The question now is, which of them is INEC looking to vacate their seats and open up their seats for elections?
Now, before now, INEC has told Nigerians that the reason why the issue of Rivers State was not decided was the fact that there were multiple court cases, multiple court judgment from the state and from the federal. But then, based on the provision of the constitution, we all know that it should be the 27 lawmakers. So immediately they hate that INEC has made that statement. They immediately declared the seat of the 4 guys vacant, So it's trying to tell INEC, these are the people that you guys need to. So, but then cases are in court, and we are hopeful that INEC would align with whatever that will come up, especially from the state, because this is a state-related case. It has nothing to do with the federal. This issue of lawmakers, these are state lawmakers. It has a lot to do with the state. So I think whatever the state will come up with is what everybody needs to stand with. That's just my position. You understand?
Well, I hope also, this is just from me now, I hope that this special panel being set up by the appeal court's president, it should be quite speedy.
Yeah.
A lot of things are at stake here, and what gives me joy is the fact that local government area elections have been settled. If you hear what Inyo said, he's very relieved now. He can now, he's now sure that in the next 4 years, because I think they're one of the benefactors of this 4 years tenure.
Yeah.
So the next 4 years, he's so sure that nothing is taking him out. So from what he has been doing back to back, he has been dragging Yes on Wiki. I think after his developmental strides, his next job function is to be dragging Wiki. He does not fail. Every week is something that is a to-do list for him. We'll just drag him a little. And Wiki has been giving him attention, which he has been desiring.
But the issue of the local government elections, they say that it's not in the jurisdiction of the federal to handle it. That it was wrong. Which means if you want to apply against it, especially coming from Tony Okocha, who is the acting, APC, it should be at the state level.
But don't forget that there's even a law which Yes on Wiki had actually enacted in his days, that whoever wins that,
nobody should go to court. Exactly. So that's why they are running. Exactly. That's why they were running away from Rivers State to the federal. But it's going to get really interesting, because this case is going to be referred back, to the state. Except they're going to go.
Just be a case of according to our constitution, which is amended.
Exactly. So
talking about shooting yourself in the leg.
I'm telling you.
All right, let's go wrap it up. Let's meet in our comment section. What's up?